Alright, now that our, oh my goodness, I almost knocked down my whole thing. Now that our overworld sprite is all drawn, it's time to see what they would look like in a boss battle. That's right, it's time for the fight sprite. The fight sprite, here we go. The first thing we need to note when it comes to the fight sprite is that they're all 1-bit. This essentially just means that it's like one color. Technically 2 colors if you're counting the background color as well, which is usually black, but it's mostly just the one color, which is white. This brings us to like a momentary tangent about 1-bit pixel art. 1-bit pixel art is actually my favorite kind of pixel art. I do it all the time, probably the most common. I love it. It's so much fun. It's really cool to have like this limiting factor on your art. A note that I should like put in is that it's all about negative space when it comes to 1-bit pixel art. Mainly because it's not about where you're putting the pixels, it's about where you're not putting them, and that's how you get all the detail in. Using negative space is all you can really do to distinguish one area from another and give details in 1-bit pixel art. Because it's not like you can use a different color to like, oh, this is where the glove ends and the hand begins. No, you have to cut off the hand, and then that is now the hand and the arm separately. Because you're only using one color. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, but overall, it's not that limiting because you can use it in so many different ways. Here, let's take Papyrus here. In this sprite alone, we see negative space used for a whole bunch of different things. We have, hold on, gotta find where I am in the script. Oh, here we are. We see negative space being used for so many different things, including depth, detailing, separation of parts, and expression. When the style only gives you one trick, you've got to use it to its maximum potential. And Mr. Fox sure does. Quick note, it's come to my attention during the editing phase of this video that Temmie Chang actually did a lot of the sprite work on Undertale. 2B Fox did some, but it seems that Temmie Chang was the real mastermind behind most of the sprites. Somehow, while pretending to do a heist of art, I did in fact accidentally rob someone of their deserved credit. My bad. Thank you in the comment section for letting me know. The second rule is that I actually lied about the first rule. You can also use other colors, but the key here is to use them very sparingly and only in certain situations where you want to give detail or kind of draw the eye and attention towards certain aspects of the sprite, right? So we wouldn't just throw, like, make the whole thing green. Actually, that could be cool. Try making the whole thing green. I don't know what it'll look like, but it might be neat. What you kind of want to do is use vivid, bright, flashy colors to draw the eye towards certain aspects of the sprite. Whether this is an eye, or a damaged area on your character, or even like something like thorns around a body, keeping it restrained. The key is just to use it sparingly and only in cases where you want to really draw attention towards something. The third rule, I'm literally dropping my laptop. This bad boy is way heavier than I thought it would be. The third rule to follow here is that characters are extremely expressive. When someone is mad, they're furious. If a character is despairing, they fall to their knees. It's really just an idea of pushing the expression of the emotion as far as you can possibly go within this little sprite area in order to really convey to the player what they're meant to be feeling right now or what the opponent is feeling. Yeah, so when you're doing your sprite, make sure you are also pushing your poses as far as they can go, pushing the expressions, really seeing how far you can get with the expression so that the characters can actually like show and convey the emotions they're meant to convey and portray. This goes for poses as well. If you want to give your character a crazy, wacky, wild pose, just go for it. A lot of the Undertale characters are already in wacky poses that are meant to show more characterization, just like the silhouette thing that we already talked about with the overworld sprites. Same thing applies here. And a final note that we should talk about is that the sprites in the battle phase are quite a bit larger. This allows for a lot more detailing than the overworld sprites. I mean, I'm going with like a 128 by 128 pixel canvas here, which is double what we're doing for the overworld sprites. So what I would suggest is you can add little bits of detail here and there to like give more life to your characters. Like, it's not details that you would normally see in the overworld sprites, simply because the overworld sprites are so small you can't fit them in. But you can fit them in when you grow the canvas to such a size that more detail should be shown. Make sure to take that opportunity and use it. Don't go overboard, but make sure to use that extra detailing area to add some details. Remember, it's not a continuity error. It is simply a added effect. No? Yes? I don't know. Do whatever you like, but that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm apparently, the script is over, so I'm going to draw the battle sprite for my little dude now too. So, we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm also going to leave the outro up to future talent, so I don't have to do that either. I'm feeling kind of self-conscious with the whole green on green vibe and my entire torso probably being invisible. So, I guess I guess that's it for me. For my battle sprite, I decided that the pose I wanted for the ramen monster was to just kind of be hanging out, almost like the player interrupted a conversation he was having. I like the idea of having one foot pointing away from the player, almost like he was getting ready to walk by, but then stop to post up on the player real quick. For the extra details, I focused on the noodles and the shoes the most, as I thought they were the most, cool parts of the character and probably the most eye-catching. I decided not to add any highlights to my character either, as I thought he looked a bit too much like a minion to actually have a boss fight, therefore he probably wouldn't have any super cool highlights, just kind of like a low-key minion monster kind of thing. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I like the noodle hanging down in front of his face, and I think the shoes actually looked really, really good by the end of it. One last thing before the video ends. I want to shout out all the Heist helpers in the comments section for part 1 of this video. Heisting is a team effort. Here are some more great tips about how to draw an overworld sprite for Undertale, from some serious crooks. First off, Fluffy Noel and Little Miner 64 are the ones who brought to my attention that Temmie Chang did a lot of the art for Undertale. Little Miner 64 also had some suggestions for heisting Deltarune, but I may need those for later, so no peeking, stop looking at that. Calral said I may have oversized the overworld sprites when I said they were 64 by 64 bit. 32 by 32 bit is a bit too small for the bigger characters such as Papyrus, but they may be right that 64 by 64 is a little bit too large. 48 by 48 works just fine and actually fixed the sprites a little bit better as well. Sella, or Kella, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it's Sella, mentioned that overworld sprites in Undertale use a limited color palette, an excellent addition that I should have caught, but that's just how it is, I suppose. Finally, Tough Bricks noticed that the main character and Chara actually do have outlines, despite what I said about them not having them. The outline's just brown, and I didn't notice. Thanks to these keen-eyed con people, and to everyone who commented. If you have any tips for how to draw a battle sprite that I may have missed, drop them below. You never know who it might help out. That's all for me, have a good one, and thanks for stopping by.